Hello and welcome to Global Talk Show by Business Power Academy, Netherlands. And today we have again an amazing and awaited guest. For her, I was waiting. And finally, she is here today, and I'm so glad to host her today. It's my great privilege. Dr. Yolanda Petersen, welcome to the Global Talk Show.
Thank you, Dr. Supriya. It is absolutely lovely being here. I know that we have been threatening to do this talk show for so long, and we had a lot of obstacles, but here we are, and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing 30 minutes spent together.
Great. And today, before I take this journey on, let me apprise you about Dr. Yolanda. Well, she doesn't need any introduction, but still, as the rule goes, let's introduce her. Well, she is a great personality. Of course, my favorite one. A public speaker, writer and social activist, executive director of SPMS BEGET, South Africa, Global Advisory Board member, and Without You Foundation, Nigeria. So once again, welcome Yolanda. And before me and I ask you some question, my viewers who are watching us live, they want to know about your incredible life journey from you.
You know, when I was preparing for this talk show, so it can go two ways. You see, we can give the story that the world wants to hear, and we all clap and we go home. But because we share such a good relationship, I'm here just to tell of my story. And when I was thinking about it, I was going, but I have probably the most boring life ever, you know. But I do a lot of things, you know. So
Not at all.
everybody's
I will stop you. You are not at all. You're an amazing personality. Yeah.
no, I do a lot. I do a lot with my life. So growing up, maybe we can start there with my family. I have two brothers, both younger, and my brothers, one stays in South Africa with us and another abroad. So I don't get to see him and his family very often. And then I have an amazing little girl called Grace, and she is going to be 8 years old next week. And she's adorable. She's just absolutely adorable. So to date, I must say that Grace is probably my biggest blessing. Not probably, is my biggest blessing. And she is my biggest grace gift. And when it comes to my folks, so as we were journeying, my brothers and I, and we were well over the children bearing age, the getting married bearing age. And my mom loves kids, and she had so many come up through her hand, and by a church especially. And everyone used to ask her, so when are you getting your grandchildren? And one of the blessings in our lives were that my sister-in-law and I were both pregnant at the same time. So she had a double portion. So when it came, the grandchildren all came together. So that was really nice. Grew up in a very stable home, very Christian home, a very tight-knit community or family. And I had the pleasure of having very strong aunties, is what we say in Cape Town, aunties around us. So I had very strong aunts. I had a very strong mother. And not only did she encourage me in terms of morals, in terms of ethics, etc., but she also encouraged a love for Christ. And I think that is the foundation of my later years now. And that has not always been the case, you know, because I was thinking
Yeah.
about this as well. And I was thinking, so the significance of my life, I think, comes in the past decade. Before the decade, I was like everybody else, trying to find myself, trying to find where I'm fitting in, etc. Made a lot of mistakes, grown from it, made some more, grown from it, etc. But I never found a space, a space where I've landed. And in the past 10 years,
Yeah.
There's been so much hurt. There's been so much pain. And at the time, I did not understand it. But if had I not gone through it, I would not be the person I am today, neither doing the work that I do today, neither having the passion and the perseverance to stand in what I am standing in today. And everyone that knows me know that I stand in my convictions. I genuinely have a love for people, especially our women and our girl child. And even that in the last 2, 3 years has changed
Oh,
because my fight was, let, let's fight for equality. Let's fight for the equal rights of women. Let them come to the forefront of business, the forefront of communities, the forefront of politics, the forefront of societies. And then I had my aha moment where I went, but yes, we need that. But we also need our males to come up alongside us. We also need to nurture the boy child. We also cannot forget our sons and our uncles. And what about my father, who has been such a good influence in my life as well in terms of leadership? Because I remember having lots of conversations with my dad in leadership. And when I was at school, especially on my high school years, I took up many positions of leadership within high school.
mhm.
Probably one of the first prefects of color in South Africa at the time when there were open schools, to, I think, probably one of the first prefects in 110 years of that school. So that was a great honor. And being a first team house captain and playing many first team sports,
Great.
etc., etc. So there was a lot of leadership grooming from my father and a lot of spiritual nurturing from my mother. Where I went wrong from my from maybe from 18 all the way up until I would say probably 28.
Oh,
I
great.
don't know. The Lord alone knows. But he brought me back. Yeah.
Oh, superb. And Dr. Yolanda, it's just like you can say a mixture of a roller coaster, must say, having mixture of every taste, sour, happiness, sweet, salty, and it's really, really great. But as a woman, I must appreciate you because a woman means seriously, whatever the country it is, a superwoman. You have to be the best as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter,
Yeah.
and it's really and as professional you're doing fabulous. So before jumping to my next question, let me ask you, how do you maintain this personal and professional in a very lucid manner, in a very calm manner? We need
Mm.
tips from you, Dr. Yolanda. Yeah.
I think that it was learned. It was a learned trait over the years. I naturally have
Okay.
a love for people. But when I
Correct.
look back at why I had a love for people, it's
Mhm.
because I understand people deeply.
Yeah.
And then I decided to work on myself. What are the number one qualities that I want to have people recognize me
Mhm.
as, see in me, and never waver on that? And a lot
Wow.
of that was kindness. A lot of that was gratitude.
Right.
A lot of that was empathy. But empathy without wisdom hurts. And I
Mm.
think that is where a lot of women, where we get our wires crossed a little bit. Because when we allow things,
Yeah.
when we condone things for the sake of understanding,
Yeah.
it does not always end well. Then I had to go through a journey of seeking wisdom and being able to discern situations. So my biggest want or desire when I meet with people is that they get the best of me in that moment.
Oh, super.
So yeah, so my interactions are really raw. So whether I am speaking at a place, or whether I'm invited as a guest, or whether I'm training, or whether I'm building a school, or whether I'm sitting in a boardroom, all of those projects,
Mhm.
it's null and void when it's done. But it's the interaction that lasts forever.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very important that we almost hone And each of us, because we can say, what has happened to the world? Where is the world at the moment? And
Yeah.
have all these negative things that follows that. But we are the world. And if you're in control of bringing one bit of contribution in a positive light to the world for who you are, do it. If you need healing, heal for
Yeah.
your sake, for the generations to come. And so I think that I predominantly value raw human interaction. I don't go home being one Yolanda and then come in front of somebody else being another. No, this is how I am.
Yeah.
This is how I am.
True
And
from
I
outside and to how we are true from inside. So that matters
yes,
really, really.
yes. I mean, there's a difference between whether we speak in a boardroom or we're speaking to youth, but the essence of us, you see, we relate to each other
Yeah.
based on what's inside of us. And very often we want to hide what's inside of us. And
Yeah.
inside of us is so much beauty because we cannot hone it if we don't know it. And I think
Yeah.
that is my main message. Just be and try to exercise the best version of yourself with all of your interactions. And eventually you become it. I mean, I'm still becoming. We'll never, ever not become.
Yeah.
But isn't there an excitement in that? If you know that I'm not going to be the same person I was last year, because I'm certainly not the same person I was 8 years ago. And that's growth. So that gets people excited about life. People need hope.
Very true.
And I often say that it takes courage to hope. Think
Very true.
about it. It takes courage to hope. It takes courage to kind of go, I am hoping for the best here. What naturally happens? 1,000 little voices going, no, but that's not going to work. You've got to make a plan B. There's
Yeah.
got to be a
True.
plan C. It takes courage to hope. And it's in the little things because we always see the big picture and we're working towards this big strategy. But we do not congratulate ourselves for taking that first step in thinking things through truly with wisdom and discernment. That's courage.
Right. Wow. Dr. Yolanda, you just, mesmerized me. I was listening to you. And it's really, really true. You have opened the thousands of hearts of women, what they exactly wanted to speak. You have supported all this gender inequality, which we are talking about nowadays, hot topic for every conference. You have just supported, and that's really, really true.
Hmm.
But in your journey, I would love to know what kind of challenges came in your life. In every woman we see, challenges, hurdles will come just like an, uninvited guest. But what kind of life in your came as a challenges? I would love to know that.
Truly, we are often our biggest obstacle,
Yeah,
and especially as women, because we find we have the need to take care not only of our families, but of everyone that we meet. We've got this innate feeling to nurture. And whilst that is good, like in my life, for argument's sake, in my culture, mental health was not spoken of, certainly not in my family or in my extended family or even in my culture very much. I did not understand it. So when I got married, I married someone that had mental health issues and still has up until today. And that was very challenging because I had no information. So, the first signs that you see, and also you come out of this and you are so broken, you are so confused because you don't understand how to help this person. So you get frustrated, you get angry, you think that they're being on purpose. But it's when you start again, when knowledge comes
yeah,
and when we are able to look at things where, all right, so a regular, healthy mindset would view a problem or an issue or a behavior as such. Now, we cannot project that healthy mindset onto somebody that is mentally unhealthy at that stage in their lives. It's just so frustrating. But then also to come out of that, and because that damaged me a lot. It damaged me a lot because I kept on trying to work and put things together, and I was getting very hurt in the process, very
I can't
broken down. And
imagine. Oh my
no, it was
gosh.
crazy. But you see, this is the thing, because a lot of the times as women, we think it's us.
Hmm.
And what are we going to do? Naturally, we don't want to hold our family, our brood together. But sometimes we just have to let it go. Sometimes it's okay not to know. Sometimes, again, it takes courage to look at the facts. Is this healthy behavior? And I think that things like schizophrenia, going
Hmm.
through psychotic episodes, it is hard. It is hard when you're a young couple. It is hard
Very,
when
very,
you don't
very hard.
understand it.
Very hard.
Very. And so for me, the first thing would be is to almost, you've got to get out, number one, to take a breather. In my case, my out was a divorce. But looking back now, I can see that a lot of that behavior, that person could not help for. A lot of it also had to come from me in terms of how you deal with the situation. Again, you cannot ask an unhealthy person to make a healthy choice or decision.
Right?
And no, you can't. So I think a lot of the times, even when we are not, it's not culturally appropriate,
Yeah.
but it's happening within humanity. If there's something that you're dealing with, if there's something that you're struggling with, educate yourself on it. And that education normally goes through a lot of research. Because firstly, we're so keen to do this. 10 signs of. How quick tips
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
No.
Tips. Yeah.
Stay away from that type of research. No, Google said no in that moment. Read
Right.
books. Go to, in the case of mental health, for argument's sake, read up on it. Speak to psychologists, speak to psychiatrists. Educate yourself around these symptoms,
Yeah.
how to
Very
handle
true.
things, how to
You
deal
have
with
to
things.
have the symptoms, and when you know the symptoms, you have to diagnose it. That's very true. Yeah.
Yes. And then at the end of that, I think for in any situation, whatever it may be, forgive yourself for not knowing.
No.
Sometimes women, we do things and we feel a fool at the end of it.
Yeah.
And we
Oh.
start self-doubting. We don't have that confidence. We don't want to be near anybody because, oh my word, what if my heart gets broken again? Or oh my word, what if I lose out on this again? And we don't open ourselves up to the gifts and the blessings that God wants to give us. And the reason we've gone through things in our lives is because now I recognize it in youth. I might not recognize it in another adult, because I don't get as close to people as I used to in the past. But our youth struggles with a lot of mental health issues.
Right.
So when I train them, and I always say, God, why did I have to go through that? Because when I meet someone, I go, all right, this is why, Lord. This is why, Lord. Because now I'm not upset. I'm not expecting them to act rashly or to act within reason because they cannot. They cannot. And it's not the end of the world. So that encouragement, who doesn't want encouragement instead
Definitely.
of a brush off?
Definitely. Wow. And Dr. Yolanda, this when you told, it's really touched my heart. I was just thinking what to speak and what to not to speak because it's really, it's very true. When things will happen with you and you know the pain, then only you
Yes,
can understand others' pain. How
yes.
long, how difficult it is to move through those pains. That's really,
Yes.
really hats off to you, Yolanda. You're
Mm.
tackling challenges. Oh my goodness. I feel
It
so
was hard.
emotional, very, very
No,
emotional.
but it was hard. And for a long time,
Can
this was
imagine.
the very topic
Yeah.
that now imagine this for or humor me this for a second. So I got married very late in life.
Hmm.
And I did everything that I needed to do, etc., etc. I did everything correctly. Where you do not live together, You get your house, it's furnished, you're looking forward to your wedding, you are looking forward to having a child. In between that, I lost a baby. So there's been a lot of things that has happened. But you step into doing everything correct. And this is sometimes just how life works. And then it falls short. It falls short on something that is almost irreparable, or it will be a lifelong challenge. Now,
Very,
that
very
is
true.
hard. It's hard to keep yourself together.
No, it's
It's
not at all
hard to come up.
possible. It's not
Yes,
at all possible, I said. You are saying
yeah,
it's hard, but I'm saying it's not at all possible. At least it's not for me
it's
to
hard. Yes.
go
And
through all these challenges. And I
yes,
must say, Dr. Yolanda, you're a very strong woman I have ever met in my life, because
I think so. If
after this
I don't
incident,
often, mm,
yeah,
I don't often give myself credit, but when I can look at the things that I've overcome and the challenges that I've overcome, so people when they the funniest thing is when they see me, they kind of go, "Oh, you're always smiling, you're always happy." Yes, yes, I am, because I also had my years of tears. I've also had
mm,
my moments in the wilderness. But you see, God doesn't leave us there. He builds us up
yeah,
for His glory. So whatever we go through, if that is our rock, we will get through it. And that is why for me it's so important to share my gifts with the world. It was never meant to be kept for me solely, or for my daughter
yeah,
solely. You don't go through this and put it on a pedestal. You go through it to share it with the world, because this is a common story. It's a common story in a lot of households,
yeah,
and with
very
us
true.
as well. Growing up in my culture, um, it's not when you make your bed, you lay in it. So it's not like you're running to mom and dad and going, this is going on and that's going on. No, you smile and you wave, but inside you are dying until you don't want to die anymore. And that is
Yeah,
why they always say you cannot stop a woman who has endured it all and use that pain to propel her success.
wow. Dr. Yolanda, till now I was thinking, even this was my thinking, oh, she's having a beautiful smile, stress-free life. I'm sure about this. But when I came to know what kind of hurdles you went through in your life, and now I imagine a person who smiled doesn't mean that he has not gone. It means he has crossed those
Yeah.
limits of tortures, mental tortures, and now there's
Yes.
nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Only you can
Yeah.
smile. That is the only
Yeah.
thing gift
Yeah.
left. And I do
But
agree with you.
yeah,
I do
even
agree.
with a smile, even with a smile, listen, if there are times in your life where you feel, and you hardly smile in your wilderness period,
Yeah.
because that's a time when you're doing a lot of crying, a lot of seeking. That's a time when you're being stretched. That's a time when you're going through the furnace, and you come out on the other side. And I can honestly say right now, I do have a beautiful life. I thank God for it. I do
Wow.
have,
You deserve it too.
I've got a very peaceful life. A stress, I'm optimistic about my life, because for the first time, I'm not having to take care of another adult, a grown adult. I can take care of myself, my daughter, and actually go for the goals that I've set for myself. And I think I've achieved much, bouncing from this. And if there's testimony to anyone, if you think you can't, you can.
You cannot. Yeah.
If but you've got to heal. You've got to look at your life and kind of go, is this the version of my life that I think I deserve? And I've got a problem with that entitlement as well.
Mm,
Sometimes we say, yeah, but you deserve it. No, we don't deserve anything, because life doesn't owe us anything. And we owe life everything, meaning our creator. And once you take that hand, so many opportunities is made available, like tomorrow evening, for argument's sake. And I was so surprised by it, because I'm always winning awards outside of South Africa and on different platforms. And I'm very grateful to that, because I put in a lot of work in the
yeah.
background silently. And tomorrow I'm awarded in my own country, in Cape Town, for one of the women that has done exceptional work within Cape Town. So that for me is another, I mean, who wouldn't want to end the year with an award, But for me, it just shows that from where you've been to where you can go, it's only mindset, tenacity, obedience, diligence, and maintenance. There's no magic formula here.
Yeah.
You can,
And
you
even
can.
Dr. Yolanda, when you are good, when your soul is pure, your heart is nice, God will definitely help you in some or other
Yes,
forms. And
yes.
meeting a people, I have been meeting so many people, and I was thinking, oh, it's accidentally meeting. No, no
No,
meeting is not accidental because
no.
it has some purpose, some plan. If we are meeting today, it has a purpose to radiate positivity to the world. So
Yeah.
it's really, really incredible, Dr. Yolanda, for enlightening your challenges that was full of hurdles and you overcome it. And I think you're the most strongest woman of the world. This award I want to give to you. And I really, really respect you, love you from the bottom core of my heart. God bless you. But it's
Thank you,
great,
Dr.
great,
Supriya.
great, great.
Funniest thing is you said nothing is not for a purpose. And I
Yeah,
truly believe that as well. No person we meet, no platform we sit on or speak at or engage on is for a, and I think today, like I said, I've never told the story before. I've always tiptoed around it. But before this, I went into some prayer time and God went like, I just kind of heard in my spirit, you're ready.
yeah,
You're ready. You're ready. Just say, because there might be a woman or a man. We are all God's creation. There might be a woman or a man who feels that I cannot speak about this, but I'm torturing those that's around me. I'm causing hurt. I don't want to cause that hurt, but I am. I need help. Perhaps that's the message of the day. But
yeah.
the true purpose here was my healing. So yay, Dr. Supriya.
And Dr. Yolanda, I will say only one thing because everybody's life, whether it's you, mine, or anybody's who is watching us, everybody's having some or other problems in the form of something, somewhere
Yes.
this or somewhere that. But being a woman, I'm talking about a strong woman, love yourself is very much required, very, very much. Me, most of the people will say, oh, it's so selfish. But I think when you can't love yourself, you can't
No.
love others. When you can't take care of you, and what will you take care of your surrounding? So respecting yourself, loving yourself is the first prerequisite of any strong woman. And happiness, that's what we create. It's not others. Others will see. I tell you, this world is only meant for breaking. That's what I say. People will break you, shake you, hate you, rate you, but
Yeah.
only it's you who will make you. So we have to keep making ourselves, yes, we will break, we will shed tears for 5 minutes, but it's only just taking a sip of tea. And then we will get refreshed, yes, ready to
Yeah.
reform again, ready to break the people again. But we will
Yeah.
not break. So that's the promise where every woman has to do with her soul. Whatever may happen, I
There you
will
go.
not let my soul to get break. No, nothing. This is the end. I have a right to be happy. I have a right to smile with my daughter, family, and to all the women who are watching this today. I want to give one message to the world. It's not like a love means a man and a woman or a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Hmm.
Love means with your family, with your daughter, with yourself, with your individuality. And that's the message today I got from Dr. Yolanda. And I'm so, so privileged to have for this meeting. And I think today I was awaiting for this meaningful meeting and I got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Great.
love with all your heart,
Yeah.
and
Thank you so much.
and the one message as well when we say
Yeah.
that we have to love ourselves as women, respect ourselves, and take ourselves seriously.
Yeah.
But you pointed out so beautifully, it's soul work. And when we look at it from that point of view, when we look at it from a point of view where it's inner work that shines out to those around us, then it doesn't become a task that we're putting on the next person. Okay, you know, if my situation is right, if my finances are right, if my company is running right, if I'm going on holiday, if I'm driving this car, if this person just loves me back. No. When it comes from within, it is yours forever. And what is yours? And you get to share it. I mean, that's the biggest blessing. You cannot give that which you don't have. You
Right.
can only give what you already have. So work on what you already have. Don't shy away from it. Wake up
So
every morning and
beautiful.
go, you know what? This day, okay, I didn't know, after my coffee, I have these conversations, not prior to that.
Okay.
You know, this day I'm going to make it count. What does that look like for me? What does that mean for me this day? Making it count. And at the end of the day, you revise your day. Have I made the moments in this day count? Because it will be crazy for us to say, let's make every second count. Let's make every hour count, you know? But
Yeah.
have you set out in the day that you have commissioned for yourself at the start of that day? And once you start seeing that happen, and oh gosh, I'm testimony to this as well. Once you start seeing that every single day, oh my word, I've checked out and checked off all of the big things I wanted to do this day, it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And before you know it, you're looking at, oh my word, this is amazing. But it's in that small steps. It's in the maintenance of those small steps.
No.
It just does not land in our laps, and
And
that's true.
I would like to add one more thing, Yolanda. Like,
Mm,
we have to motivate ourselves because there is no one in this world who will motivate you, who will push
yes,
you. Okay, Supriya, you have to do this thing. Okay, you have to be your motivator. You have to be your best friend, you know. I never let others to motivate me. I will say I am there for myself. I don't need anybody's motivation because I
yes,
know people are there to demotivate me in my life, in my every step of life. But I
mhm,
motivate myself. Yes, I have to do this. This is my plans. This is my this. So
yes,
life needs to move on and always smile
yes.
because a smile will cost nothing, but it will make
There
you
we go.
beautiful and young forever.
You can do it two ways. You
Yeah.
can do it miserably, and eventually you're
Yeah.
going to give up, or you
Yeah.
can do it and do it with a smile, and then eventually come into greater joy.
Yes.
This
Because
happiness is subjective.
yeah. And we as a woman, as strong women, we should not be always in, I can't be in anxiety or,
Mm,
sadness, not for more than 20 minutes
right.
because I will feel suffocated or have to come out of this situation. I want my
Yes.
smile back. I want to be free life. It's,
Yeah.
a control life and all those lives. So we have to take
That's true.
care because
So
we are
true.
also human beings. Not only women doesn't mean be under somebody's slave or you have
Yeah.
to be, a car and the remote control will be in their hands. And then whenever they'll do, you will move here and there and there. So we have to
Yes.
take care, right?
When that's unhealthy, sometimes we've adopted such unhealthy habits that we
Yeah,
have to unlearn. We need to reorientate ourselves and kind of go, no, no, no. And that is why that self conversations,
yeah.
that inventory check. At this age in my life,
Mhm.
what matters? What matters to me is that not everybody has access to me.
Yeah,
What matters to me is that when my engagement with you is a choice that I make and that I'm true in that moment and I genuinely give of my heart. So that is the things that you protect. If you live in your life to give so much of yourself, I don't think
yeah,
nobody has the privilege of that.
yeah.
And then peace, you want to be joyful. You want the little things makes me happy right now. My daughter makes me happy right now. I see her writing books, and I see her
Wow.
wanting to do art classes and she's an amazing kid. So
Wow. God bless
these
her
are the
and
things.
her
Yeah, she's
mom who has given
amazing.
such upbringings because children can only be good when the parents are giving the best upbringing, and you're doing fabulous, Yolanda. I can see the pictures with your daughter,
Gosh,
and I just
amazing.
appreciate you over there. It's really great.
Yeah.
Well,
And she's not a child that wants much.
yeah.
And I think that is probably the best thing. That, she loves writing me notes. She's not a child that cries for things, that wants toys, that wants to go out, etc. So it's a pleasure to spoil her. She's a very, yeah, it's a pleasure to spoil her. But she's very, I'm excited about her life because she will come with her own mic to an event because she wants to say as well. I'm excited
Definitely.
about her life. And I often tell my mom, sometimes we break the generational curses. Now you decide, does it end with my generation? That's what I decided in my prayer time. Lord, it ends here. So the children, my children's children, and their great grandchildren will have a very different experience to what I've had. But I need to lay the groundwork.
Right.
Help me, Lord.
Right.
Help me. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
And that's also great motivation for me.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Yolanda, this journey, I don't want to end up. I would just want to go on and on and on because it's really, really inspiring. And I'm sure people who will watch later and who are watching right now, they are just filling with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of zest, zeal, and they know how to move their life on with a lot of positivity.
Yes.
Well, I would like to ask now next, what's your mission now or what would you like to have in your first next 5 years?
Hmm. Next 5 years, do you know, I thought about that question as well. And I asked myself that all the time because I feel that there's a shift that has happened in my life, in where I'm at, the season I am in at the moment. And I am waiting on the Lord to let me know where next. For
Wow.
me, I do not want to take a step outside of God's boundary and without his blessing. I can see what is happening, and I keep on getting, I'm sending you out to the nations. All right, Lord, so which nations? I'm sending you out to the nations. Okay, Lord, so what am I going to do there? So I'm waiting. I'm in a season where I'm not going, I'm still doing everything that I need to do on a daily basis. Um, but I'm excited because there is a shift that has happened in my life. And
Yeah.
it's a shift I've been praying for so long. And it's going to be so solid, so solid. So in the meantime, we are still training youth. We are still mentoring corporate companies. I am involved in building a school in one of our townships, and we've groundbroken, and it's an amazing team as well, a team only women.
Yeah.
And I'm a part of that project team, so that is really incredible. So I've been chasing bricks and cement and rubble and
That we are
stone.
seeing, the world is seeing you, Dr. Yolanda. You're doing a
Yeah,
fabulous job. And I wish you all
yeah.
the best for your success, health, happiness, and a lot of happiness, lots and lots of happiness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, what message would you like to convey now to our audience who are waiting? And this 30 minutes or 40 minutes just passed just like that. And we are just want to
Again.
hear more and more and more and more. Yeah.
But that's the thing. When we live life, this is a life moment. It's not an interview. It's a
Yeah. That's
flow, a
what I
flow of
felt. That's what I felt.
conversation.
That's what I felt.
And that is what's gone so quickly. My message to everyone is hope. In a world filled with apathy, there are so many good people, and there's so many bad people too. Let's not be under any disillusion. But there's more good than bad. And when the good does not action it, it seems like there's a minuscule of good happening. When the bad actions, they go full on. So wherever you are, decide. Decide to get off the apathetic bench and to action at least something, no matter how small. Because whatever gifts you have, the world needs it. Whatever gifts you have inside you, it needs to be honed. It was never for ourselves. So, what is the best way to exercise those gifts? Get into relation, get
Yeah.
into communion with others in a space that you feel safe, yes, but also stretch yourself beyond your border when you are ready. But the
Thank you.
world cannot handle apathy. We're not at a time in humanity for apathy. We're in a time of humanity for action, and that takes courage. Yeah, yeah.
What a great, meaningful message you have given to our audience. And I'm sure this interview will be a turning point in everybody's life when they will watch it, when they will explore it. And thank you so much, Dr. Yolanda, for accepting my invitation. And it was not an interview, it was just a soul to soul connection, which I felt. And
Just
I'm
a
telling
flow.
globally, I'm telling this thing. Thank you so much for this, accepting my invitation and coming to our talk show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Supriya, and continue your stellar work on your side as well.
Thank you so much.
Blessings.
Namaste ji. And of course, my lovely audience, thank you so much for your cooperation, loving us, keep loving us, and always stay positive, happy, hale and hearty. Enjoy the moment, which we both have discussed. What message Dr. Yolanda has given, keep following that. And if you want to transform your life, if you have any queries, do contact Dr. Yolanda and
Yeah.
make your life meaningful and successful. Love you. Good night from India.
Bye bye, everyone.